Welcome to Generate Your Business, and we continue with our series. Today, we're looking at identifying your own list of business ideas. You've done the background work, you've actually identified your areas of strength and perhaps your areas of interest. But it's important to have a business or a list of business ideas. I stress ideas because from these ideas, you can then decide on which business or businesses to kickstart with. Remember, we talked about not really falling for your passion in the beginning, but going for a profitable market. Then you, from the proceeds or from the profit, decide to dwell on what is interesting to you or what you are passionate about. So the first thing to do in identifying a business idea list is to identify profitable markets. Not every market is profitable. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but even your own passion might not be profitable in the beginning. Remember what I said. You can still fall back to your passion, but you go into business for one reason, to make profit. Even social enterprises have the goal of making profit, because without a profit, you can't or might not be able to sustain a business. So identify the profitable markets around you. And we've talked about market research, and you know by now how to conduct a market research. I beg your pardon. Ask questions. When asking questions, you can also seek other secondary forms of generating data like publications, newspapers, magazines, journals. But a market research is one way that you can identify a profitable business. Number two, you can leverage on available resources. What are the resources that are around you? Say, for example, you are from the north. There are quite a number of things that are easily accessible in the north that might be scarcely available in the south or southeast. Why don't I take some of these easily accessible products that are necessities in every part of the world, and I send them to one part of the country where they are needed and will be purchased at a higher cost? You can look at probably your siblings or friends. Okay, amongst my friends, I have someone who is good at doing this. I am good at doing this. What if we come together, merge our skills and our talents, and go into a business that is in high demand? That way, you can generate enough profit. You can do the business for a period of time. But the idea is to identify a profitable market. So you can leverage on resources around you. These resources can range from natural resources to human resources. Just think of what is abundantly available around you that you can leverage on. Like I said, it can be natural, it can be human resources. So give that a very critical thought. Then you can use a business idea list. In the next slide, we'll be seeing what a business idea list is like. And these are the questions that you'll find in a business idea list. I know we've touched on this a bit in the previous lessons, but just for emphasis, these are questions you answer when designing or coming up with your business idea list. Number one, which need will my business fulfill? If your business is not fulfilling a need, you might not end up making any profit. There's a popular saying that goes, ideas rule the world. Well, I think I agree to a very large extent. But what rules the world the most is providing solutions, meeting people's needs. So, which need does my business fulfill? Is it the need for people to cover their bodies and be comfortable? The need for people to look fashionable? The need for people to look simple? The need for people to look classy? There must be a need, and that need must be at the top of your business idea list. What goods or services will I provide? Now, there are issues or there are problems I want to meet. There are needs I want to fulfill. But what specific goods or services do I have to meet these needs? To whom will I sell? target audience. Not everybody is your target. It's important for us to stress that. And how, I beg your pardon, will I sell? Distribution. Would you use a hybrid model? Would you use a strict online model? Would it be a strict offline model? You need to think of how you want to sell. Will I go to marketplaces? Will my model be designed in such a way that my customers will come to me? Do I have to go to them? These are things to factor when setting up or coming up with your business idea list. And remember, a business idea list is not tied or limited to one business. You can have several business idea lists. In fact, we recommend you have more than 5. Then at the end of the day, you streamline and set down for one. You can also learn from successful business owners when identifying your business idea list. Look at successful business people. What kind of businesses did they start with? Where did the idea come from? How did they develop their business into a successful, or rather, how did they develop their ideas into a successful business? Where did they get the money from? I'll start with an example that I know is very dear to me. Dangote. Dangote, I believe, was popularly known with his cement business, Dangote Cement. And that's the kind of idea he started with. And where did the idea come from? People needed to build houses. Nigeria's middle class was just coming up. We're a developing nation. So the number of people with building structures or construction structures were few. But as the middle class began to expand, more people began to get to the level where they wanted to be comfortable, and live in their own houses or build their own business places. So that was where the idea came from. How did he develop the idea into a successful business? Partnerships. I'm sure he liaised with so many other people. There's a story, that said he took some money from, I don't know if it's his uncle or somebody, but partnerships were key to the development of his business idea. Where did he get the money from? Like I said, there's a story. I don't know, and maybe he took loans. I know in recent time he has taken loans. So yes, it depends. Where do you want to get your startup capital from? Depending on your school of thought, loans, crowdfunding, and perhaps applying for grants. Now, this is a business idea analysis form. What is it used for? When you go to these successful business people, these are the questions that you might want to ask them. But it is actually an important step in your journey, talking to successful business people, particularly and especially people whose businesses are related to your own kind of business. So what is the name of the business, what goods or service, their main customers, when and why did they decide to start that business? All this information will help you set your own business idea list. Oh wow, I quickly skipped brainstorming. But okay, brainstorming and structured brainstorming. Brainstorming is simply thinking over ideas that you might have come up with. You think of a particular word, and what comes to mind when you think of that word? By the time you disintegrate that word into several pieces, you are brainstorming. But the brainstorming is actually more interesting when you do it with people. It could be your family, it could be your friends, but don't think that other people's contribution will not be helpful when coming up with a business idea list. Sit down with people, particularly like-minded people. Have a conversation. Okay, I'm looking at doing this business this way. What do you think? And someone like, oh no, haven't you seen that XYZ did it that way and something didn't work right? So it's always a good idea to brainstorm with people. Then there's structured brainstorming, which is when you think of the different processes that are involved in the operation of a particular business. And this is different from brainstorming, which is just thinking randomly about the items related to a business field or type. In structured brainstorming, you're thinking about the processes. Okay, we've identified a particular product, and we think that this product we can source from XYZ, and when we source from XYZ, we can distribute to ABC. But what is the process of sourcing? When we source, are we going to then transport by air, by road. How, yes, we know these people, they even are kingsmen and all of that, but how do we then get these products to our place of production? Time is very important when you are going into structured brainstorming. A very simple tool that can help inform your structured brainstorming is what we talked about at the beginning of this course, and that is the BMC, Business Model Canvas. You might want to look at the Business Model Canvas and employ it for your structured brainstorming. I believe that this will come in handy. There's one more course to go. I'm happy to take any questions or feedback. I really hope that with some of these ideas, building upon some of these ideas, you'll be able to come up with a business idea list that will be profitable and ready to go to market. And I thank you for the time you have spent listening to this very brief presentation. I see you in the next class, hopefully. Thank you.